Genteel and wild. English countryside revisited. The Railway Children, E. Nesbit. For Franklin, On Teffy's Christmas, 1910. Traveling in China, a practical guide for English travelers. Helmet, flask and rifles. Franklin is very well equipped. February 1922, South Africa. July 1920, Alaska Peninsula. Franklin appears to be very active. Franklin Clark appears to be a typical British gentleman, a good sportsman, a hunter, a traveler. The plates around the picture appear to have unlocked. I think I've already seen these symbols on Franklin's trophies. The Alaskan Kodiak bear. the African kudu. The lion of Sumatra. I heard the sound of a mechanism. Strange way of protecting one's safe. Triangulating one's hunting sites on a map. These documents are very likely going to help me for the rest of the inquiry. A dozen gold sovereigns, some shares for the Southern Railway and some treasury bills. This is not worth much, hardly enough to justify your robbery. Charlotte Clark Comside Chuston, Devon, to Mr. Franklin Clark Peninsula Hotel, Salisbury Road, Chim Sha Tsui, Kowloon, Hong Kong, Comside, 1935, January 1st. I wish you with all my heart a happy year 1935. Writing my greeting cards, I have affectionate thoughts for you. Always smiling as a child, sailing to distant countries and bringing back to us trunks full of wonder. At home, everything annoys me, starting with this young Thora Sir Carmichael is so fond of. I have nobody to share my feelings with, so I write to you. How can I tell you what happens to me? The simplest way the better. I am doomed. I still have 1 year to live, no more. How do I know? I opened the secret drawer of Carmichael and read a letter not addressed to me. In this letter, Dr. Logan tells my husband in the most direct way the truth he conceals from me. So, I know. But my husband doesn't know I know. Please don't tell him. And if he shares the truth with you, act as you were surprised. Carl will probably speak in his usual convoluted way, but I wanted to be the first to announce it to you. It does matter to me that you are aware of what happens in Comside. Warm regards, Charlotte. Sir Carmichael Clark, Comside Chuston, Devon, to Mr. Franklin Clark Peninsula Hotel, Salisbury Road, Tsim Sha Tsui, Kowloon, Hong Kong. Comside, 1935, January the 12th. Dear Franklin, first, I wish you a good start to a successful new year. I have received your letter dated December 10th. Thanks for defending my interest against Wang, this robber. Things could have got pretty bad if you weren't a real cold-blooded guy. I envy you for that. Things go on here much as usual. Charlotte is moderately free from pain. I wish one could say more. You may remember Thora Gray. She is a dear girl and a greater comfort to me that I can tell you. I should not have known what to do through this bad time but for her. She has an exquisite taste and shares my passion for Chinese art. No daughter could be a closer or more sympathetic companion. Life has been difficult, but I am glad to feel that here she has a home and true affection. You wrote me you want to stay in China for 1 more year or even longer. I don't object. The longer you stay, the more opportunities you will have to increase our collection. Nonetheless, you should know that we miss you here, and that Charlotte will be gone by the time you come back. I am, dear Franklin, your truly affectionate brother. Eton College School Year, 1912-1913. Franklin Clark. School report for Franklin Clark. According to his teachers, Franklin was a good student, but lacked discipline. Comside's private collection, purchases since 1920. The catalogue for Sir Carmichael Clarke's collection. There are some very valuable objects here. Compass, point to the south. Bronze and magnetite, Han Dynasty, circa 210 BC, purchased in Hong Kong 1935. I've already seen similar daggers. A dark dragon for a bright-haired maid. C. Attention, Franklin. Task list. A. Ordering Lady Clarke remedies. Done. B. Tidying up real estate property files. Done. C. Calling the lawyer about inventory. Done. D. Update the tenant farmer list. Done. E. Update land rent accounting. Done. F. Ordering a restock of arsenic. Done. P.S. I have left on the living room table some of my things I don't want to keep. The locket and the dagger. I am sure you know why. Thora. I see some papers that were not there the first time I visited. Valuers report property. Building land located in Comside, Churston client, Sir Carmichael Clarke, April 15, 1935, Court and Brunskill office. Ernest Logan, MD, Brighton Cancer Institute, 201 Dusk Road, Brighton, Sussex. To Sir Carmichael Clarke, MD, Comside, Churston, Devon. Brighton, 1935, January the 5th. As a man of science, I owe it to you to be completely frank. Lady Clarke, your wife is suffering from a generalized terminal cancer. I confess I didn't suspect anything like that during the first exams. But with the test results I have received today, there is unfortunately no place for doubt. I estimate that Lady Clarke's life expectancy is no more than 1 year. Hospitalization would not help in her case, so I advise you to keep her at home and provide her with as much morphine as required to ease her last moments. Yours sincerely, Ernest Logan. Valuers report property. Building land located in Comside, Churston client, Sir Carmichael Clarke, April 15, 1935, Court and Brunskill office. Court and Brunskill. The name is familiar. Is that not the name of the firm Donald Fraser works for? These daggers are only ceremonial weapons. I do not think that the crime weapon is here. The door is locked. This unit contains the medical records for Sir Carmichael Clarke's patients. Let us study them closely and see if there are any familiar names. No dust on the records from A to D. They've been handled recently. No known names. Disappointing. Lots of dust. The records from E to Z have not been touched for years. No known names. Disappointing. Traditional Chinese map. Facsimile. South is on the top of the map. Order and method above all. Let us finish examining the mansion while no one is around. The Black Dragon's Curse. To Franklin, who will never grow up. January 25, 1928. Car Charlotte. Miss Thoroughgrey Comside Truston Devon. Arsenic trioxide thallium. Where is the horrible smell of carrion coming from? Brown pellets. Revolting. Tut-tut. The gardener does not follow the alignment. There, that's better. It is symmetrical. There, that's better. It is symmetrical. It was probably the gardener who lit this fire. Look here. I wonder if someone wanted to get rid of these papers. This object will probably be useful to me. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Everything that Thoroughgrey has left behind comes from Sir Carmichael's collection. He most probably gave them to her, but she chose to leave them here rather than run the risk of being accused of theft. It is understandable when you know just how much Lady Clark mistrusted her. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Thorgray had no reason to kill someone who only had a few months left to live. The poison she ordered was for rats. The gardener must have made good use of it, considering the stinking remains on the path, not far from the property. I've finished here. I must put the skeleton key back and inform Hastings that I'm returning to London. Perfect. Nothing else is keeping me here. Hello, Hastings. I have finished in Charleston. I will take the first train. Tell me, do you know how to restore writing on a burned document?
Yes, you just have to soak a cloth with a hydrochloric acid solution and rub the sheet of paper. Then the characters appear.
Bien. You have been of great assistance, Hastings. Could you please order the solution as soon as possible?
Of course, but what documents do you want to read?
You will see, my friend. À ce soir.
Donald Fraser is here. He insisted on waiting to see you.
This man is tired. Donald is short of sleep, and it looks as if he didn't even bother to undress before going to bed.
Mr. Poirot, I don't know why I'm here.
You wanted to talk, and you came to find the only man capable of hearing you.
Mr. Poirot, since Betty's death, I've doubts about myself. I don't know what to do. And I keep having a horrible dream 3 nights in a row.
Have a drink, and tell me about this dream.
It's always the same. I'm on the beach with Betty. I grab her round the throat, and I squeeze, and squeeze until she's dead. Her head falls back, and I see that it's no longer Betty. It's Megan's face.
Have you seen Megan Barnard recently?
Yes, our grief has brought us together. I never really knew her before. She's really quite a remarkable girl. But I would never tell her about my dream.
Why not? Is it her you are attacking in your dream?
No, it's Betty. And once Betty is dead, it's Megan's face that appears in its place.
Very interesting. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Mr. Fraser, I think that the real meaning of this dream is that you are in love with Megan Barnard.
Please go on. Do.
This dream certainly betrays your guilt.
Oh.
But what do you feel guilty about? Having killed your fiancé? Possible. Or forgetting her very quickly for her sister? Certainly. And this forgetting is perceived as a second death.
So you don't really think I was the one who killed Betty?
I do not exclude this theory. I am simply saying that I do not need to know that fact to explain your dream and your guilt.
Thank you for being frank, Mr. Poirot. You've helped me a great deal. I'm going back to Bexhill. I'll not take any more of your time up.
It is late, Mr. Fraser, and you are tired.
I'll sleep on the train. I like trains. It's easy to sleep rocked by the sound of the wheels.
Poor boy, he seems completely lost.
Well, women seem to like him. I think Megan will take care of him. Oh, I remember. Did you order the product I needed?
Yes, we'll be receiving it tomorrow.
Bien, it is late, and I asked Miss Gray to come tomorrow morning. I have a few questions I wish to ask her. Mademoiselle, I asked you here in order to answer a very important question. Am I right in thinking you said that you did not speak to anyone on the day Sir Carmichael was murdered?
It's the absolute truth.
Yet, Lady Clark maintained that she saw you talking to a stranger on the front doorstep.
Really? She must have been mistaken. Oh, I remember now. I'd forgotten all about it, but it wasn't important. It was just a salesman. One of those traders who sell stockings from door to door.
Can you describe him to me?
Medium size, glasses, dark suit, and a felt hat. Not the sort of man you notice. Completely harmless. That's why I forgot all about him.
Nothing else?
He was very hesitant and shy. Usually door-to-door salesmen are very confident, but he wasn't.
You also forgot to tell me that you had been fired.
You never asked me. It was Franklin who led you to believe that I left voluntarily. He's more chivalrous than you. I don't wish to lie. Lady Clark did not appreciate my presence. And Franklin could not go against the wishes of a sick lady. He is a good man, and he worries a great deal about his sister-in-law.
I noticed that you left some personal belongings behind at Churston. It was too risky for you to keep these objects, am I correct?
Risky? What was the risk?
You know very well what Lady Clark might have said if you had kept these objects.
Indeed. These objects were gifts. But Lady Clark would have been convinced that I'd stolen them. By returning them, I put an end to such evil gossip.
Bien. I must ask you one last question. Please reply frankly with either yes or no. If Lady Clark had died, would you have agreed to marry Sir Carmichael if he'd asked you?
How dare you ask such a question? Sir Carmichael treated me just like his daughter. And all that I ever felt him was affection and gratitude, nothing else.
Thank you, mademoiselle. I will not keep you any longer.
I met Thora Grey on the stairs. Her cheeks were ablaze, and she appeared to be deeply hurt. Poirot, have you offended the poor girl again? Do you have good reasons for accusing her?
I accused her of nothing, Hastings. I simply asked her an important question she did not answer. Let us see if we can answer it for her. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. You must know how to read between the lines, Hastings. When Sir Carmichael refers to paternal affection, he is lying to himself. Read this engraving on the brooch. A dark dragon for an angel with glossy hair. These are the words of a lover, not a father. Lady Clark was not wrong.
What if Sir Carmichael had fallen in love with his secretary? That doesn't mean that she forced him to do so.
True, there are extenuating circumstances. She is a penniless orphan. But she is calculating. Just look how she avoided it when asked if she would have married Clark.
I see. You think she seduced Sir Carmichael for her own gain, and that now she is doing the same with his brother. Poirot, your world is a very dark place.
Do not get carried away, mon ami. We have another more important matter to settle.
Really?
Yes, would you believe that Miss Grey taught me something new? Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. It's perfectly clear, Hastings, perfectly clear. Indeed, a stocking seller visited Andover, Bexhill and Churston on the day of each murder. We have our suspect. This should be of interest to Job. Chief Inspector, we are looking for a stocking salesman.
I see you have a suspect.
Yes, contact all the stocking wholesalers who may employ him.
Your suspect is a salesman?
No, he does not take orders. He sells door to door.
Right. The hunt is on.
Are you leaving, Mr. Cust?
Yes, I'm going to Cheltenham.
You shouldn't travel today. You don't look very well.
I have to. I have engagements. I must respect them.
Can you get the post, Hastings?
And why don't you go and get it yourself?
Très bien. What's going on? I've never known Hastings to be so disagreeable. Poor Mr. Poirot. I'm quite sorry for you. If at first you don't succeed, try again. We've a long way to go still. Typery? No, that comes later. Letter T. The next little incident will take place in Doncaster on September 11th. So long. ABC. I should compare this letter with the one on my desk which I received earlier to see if it does indeed come from the same person. Let us examine this more closely. Certain characters in the two letters may have similar defects. Yes, this I is weird. Right, let us compare this with the other letter. Yes, the I characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. The W is not printed properly. Right, let us compare this with the other letter. Of course, the W characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. I have to find some other similar defects to confirm my theory. Yes, the A appears to be quite unusual. Right, let us compare this with the other letter. That's right. The A characters in the two letters do indeed have the same defects. My theory was right. These two letters were written with the same typewriter. Hastings, he strikes tomorrow. Chief Inspector Japp?
He's on another line. Can I take a message?
Yes, please, mademoiselle. It is from Hercule Poirot. Tell him ABC strikes tomorrow in Doncaster. He must call me back.
Very well, sir.
Bien, now I'm going to see what I can find from these burnt documents. I've received the product I need. Hastings, if you do not mind, I would like you to take a few notes.
Yes, yes.
It is not the right time to leave. Now, down to work. All of this needs putting in order a little. This piece should be placed here. This page is finished. That's done. 3 more to go. This piece should be placed here. This piece should be placed here. This page is finished. And that's 2 done. It's easier than I thought. This page is finished. Only one more. Keep going. This does not look too difficult. This page is child's play. This page is finished. All the pages are reconstructed. The cloth is now soaked with solvent. Got it! Make a note, Hastings, make a note. Mrs. Alice Asher, shop owner in Andover. Tracheitis, hemoptysis, prescribed laudanum.
I got it. Look. Poirot, where on earth did you find these files?
On a fire at the bottom of the garden at campsite.
All right, but where did the person who burned them find them?
Alice Asher, shopkeeper in Andover. Tracheitis, hemoptysis, chronic cough with loss of blood. Prescribed laudanum-based cough medicine. Betty Barnard, waitress in Bexhill. Chronic bronchitis causing dysphonia. Advised to stop smoking. Alexander Bonaparte Cust. War wounded, mustard gas and head trauma. Pulmonary emphysema. Hemoptysis. Coughing fits with blood. Suffers from absences and amnesia. Dick Dudley Dunbar, owner of the Black Swan Hotel in Doncaster. Asthmatic, heart disease, heart condition. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. The burned documents are medical records, and without a doubt they come from Clark's archives. First of all, because all the patients have throat conditions. And secondly, their name starts with either A, B, C or D, and it is precisely the files that match these letters that have been tampered with.
But why burn these files? How come the names of the two victims appear on them? And who are the two other patients?
These are very good questions.
Hello, Poirot?
Any news, Chief Inspector?
You wanted a stocking seller? We have one. Reported by his landlady who thought he was behaving suspiciously. He has the most unbelievable name.
Alexander Bonaparte Cust.
Yes, Alexander Bonaparte Cust. How did you guess? Poirot, you have magical powers. It's a serious lead. I called Doncaster. A person matching Cust's description has been seen at the station. He got off the train from London, but after that, nobody knows where he went.
Look for him at the Black Swan Hotel.
What? How do you know he's there?
Trust me, Chief Inspector.
You appear to be very sure of yourself. Very well. I'll call the Black Swan straight away. The owner is going to get a shock when he learns that there's a murderer under his roof.
Do your best, Jap.
You can count on me.
Hastings, everything is at stake. With a little luck, our main suspect will soon be under lock and key. So has Cust been arrested?
Yes, the Doncaster police are sending him by train.
That is good news. But why so gloomy, Chief Inspector?
Well, when I told the hotel owner that he was sheltering a murderer, he collapsed.
He's dead?
No, fortunately, but it has taken its toll on him. It has to be said that with his name starting with the letter D, he had every reason to fear Cust. I bet he was going to be the next victim.
Chief Inspector, I believe that I share responsibility for this incident.
What do you mean?
I saw Mr. Dunbar's medical records. His heart was weak. I should have warned you.
It's very honest of you to tell me that, Poirot. I appreciate your gesture.
Please keep me informed of his progress.
You can count on me. I'll do what's needed.
I will visit him at his bedside when the killer is caught.
That's typical of you, Poirot. We should focus on the next part of the investigation in order to avoid other incidents. While we're waiting to question Cust, we could search his room in London.
Where does he live?
The Marbury Guest House?
I'll see you there.
Yes, but start without me. First of all, I have to sort out a few details for Cust's transfer.
I understand. À bientôt. Hastings, we are making good progress. Please go and search the room of our number one suspect.
With pleasure. I did have a dentist appointment, but I'll cancel.
The dentist. So that is why you were so nervous and bad-tempered.
A visit to the dentist is never an enjoyable prospect.
But an unavoidable one. Go to your appointment, Hastings. I will manage on my own. To Marbury Guest House, please.